What is up, guys? What is up? I want to come at you today with a little bit of a different video, and I need your help with this one. So I'll tell you what happened here. So yesterday I was talking to a guy at work, older gentleman named Tim. Tim's a real good guy, and he's a lot older. He's 50 something. Probably low 50s. He's probably 52, 53, something like that. And Tim talks to me a lot about video games. And he'll bring up like, what have you been playing, Dan? Because he knows all the retro games, you know. And then I'll ask him what he's playing. And he likes to play a lot of those MMORPGs. Like, he's played World of Warcraft. He's played that new Harry Potter one out, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. He tried that, but he's a huge fan of old EverQuest and games like that. He's really into that. So that's what he plays nowadays. So I got to talking to Tim last night, and I said, hey, Tim, what was your first video game system? And he thought for a second. He's like, oh, Pong, probably. Yeah, he's like, Pong. I had like a little Pong. He's like, it was like a console, and you had the little dials that you turned. I was like, okay. So I said, so you played Nintendo, right? NES? And he's like, yeah, oh yeah. And I said, well, what was the main game you played on that, you know? He's like, oh, Super Mario Brothers. He said, that was a really big deal, man. Everybody was playing Mario Brothers. And that's where it brings me to what I was talking about. So I thought about his age, and I was like, man, so when the NES was out, bro, you were like almost like through high school and shit, right? I'm not the best with math here. But he's like, yeah, I was like near the end of high school or whatever. I think he told me. I don't know his exact age. But he's like, I was at the end of high school. I had just gotten done and stuff. I was like, okay, so you probably had a job and stuff like that, and you were working somewhere, right? I go, I wonder... It makes me wonder so much, like, what were people talking about? Did people talk about Mario at work and shit? Like, dude, oh man, I was at work I was at home last night, guys, and man, I couldn't get past 4-2. Oh my god, 4-2 I keep dying, I keep getting there. Man, I wish you had continues on. I wish you could just pick up where you left off, and man, there's a warp zone. When you go to the top of level 2, you can go on the top of the screen. Did you guys know that? I wonder if people were talking like that about all these games. Like, hey, man, you ever play this game called Contra? Did you ever play that? Dude, you should come over this weekend and play it. Or come on after work and play it, dude. Come on, we'll buy some beers. Come over and play. I wonder if people did shit like that. I'm sure they did, because like at work right now, I'll be around a lot of my employees, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be like, what'd you guys do last night? Oh, so-and-so got on, and we were playing some Call of Duty, or... so-and-so's going to come over. We're going to play this game on the Xbox, There'll be all these things they're talking about, you know what I mean? And I don't keep up with it much anymore, but sometimes they say, I'm playing Elden Ring, or I'm playing this. Oh, okay, cool. And I translated that into, like, old stuff, and I was thinking, man, I would love to hear some stories from some older guys that lived through it, because I was born in 1986, so I'm 37 years old, and I was a little kid, dude. I was experiencing it through the eyes of a child. I was very, very small. I would play games with text, and I could barely read it, you know what I mean? Like, I was, like my son right now, he's 7, he's like learning to read, and I have him read the things that Mario's saying on the screen. My son's playing Super Mario 3D World, and I'm at the beginning, they talk a bunch at Bowser's Fury, and I'm having him read it, hey, Nathan, try to read it, and so when he reads it, it's really, exciting or whatever. And so I was like, yeah, go ahead and read it or whatever. And so I was just talking to Tim, though, and I was like, how cool would it be to hear some stories? And I know Andrew Meter, in my streams, you do this a lot, like, oh, that game was hard to rent. That game was always out, or that game was hard to buy, and blah, blah, blah. People were going to Kohl's and JCPenney and everything else trying to buy this shit, Sears. And they were trying to buy Battletoads when it came out, dude. It was sold out everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Those are really cool stories. Very, very cool. But, like, was there anybody that, like, maybe worked at a factory or worked at a convenience store or something like that, and maybe you worked at a gas station, where people coming in going, oh, yeah, oh, you're grabbing a couple beers, huh? Yeah, what are you doing tonight? Oh, man, actually, at home I'm playing Contra. You ever play that game, Contra? You ever heard of that? You know? Oh, yeah, Contra game's hard as hell, man. Do you know there's a 9 live code? You know what I mean? So, you know, I wonder, like, how the talk was at that time. How about like what it was like to go buy a game? Like, did anybody play on a Nintendo kiosk or something? Like, oh yeah, man, when this game came out, everybody was on that damn kiosk and they were playing this. And oh, I remember my dad went to the kiosk once and he played on it, and all of a sudden we walked out with a system, you know, it sold it to him, you know. Like, does anybody have any cool stories like that? I would love to hear it. I don't know why, but I'm just very intrigued by those types of stories. I don't know, because I wasn't there. I was there, but I was a little kid, so I wasn't experiencing that. How about some stories about you guys? Maybe you were in high school, okay? And how about the Genesis versus Super Nintendo talk? How did that go down? Like, how was that? See, I didn't experience that, dude. Like, we didn't talk like that. We just... I'll be honest with you, that late in gaming, like Super Nintendo and Genesis, I didn't even talk about that at school, really. I just went home and played. I didn't talk about my games at school. When I started talking about games at school, we conversated about it, was PS2 and Xbox. PS1. I take that back. PlayStation 1. Having kids come over, my friends, and say, yo, I got WWF Attitude, dude. Come over. Or my buddy Steve would come over. Oh, you got Warzone, dude? Oh, my God. Yo, before we watch wrestling, let's play some Warzone. You know, we'd play Warzone, then we'd watch wrestling. And so I had WCW Nitro. That, believe it or not, was a great game when it came out. We loved it. We played the fuck out of it. Watched Monday Nitro at night. So I have stories about PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. When GTA 3 came out, I mean, I was right there, dude. I mean, I could tell you exactly. I didn't even go to school the day it came out because Mom let me pull a stinker and let me stay home from school. But, and she bought me the damn game. So, pretty cool mom, right? But, I have stories on that. I have sports stories. I remember when my buddy Andrew, if you watch this, I remember when Andrew got the first Xbox, dude, and he was at school talking about how huge it is, and, oh, it's this big brick, guys, and we're like, oh, Andrew, can we come over to your house after school, dude? We went over to Andrew's house. We're playing NFL Fever, the one with fucking Walter Payton, the one with Peyton Manning on the cover in his Colts outfit, you know? And I still remember Andrew trying to beat the Commandos. You know, there was these fantasy teams that were hard to beat, and Andrew would be trying to fucking beat them with the Packers and Brett Favre, you know? So I have all those stories, and playing a season with Dustin, my buddy Dustin, and playing MVP baseball. We'd both pick a team. He'd pick the Dodgers, I'd pick the Sox, and we'd run a season. We would never finish it, but, you know, we tried. Playing SmackDown on PS1, and we would both select a person, like, hey, I'm Kane. I'm fucking, he'd be like Rock or something. Oh, okay, cool. If we face each other, we face each other, you know what I mean? And so we'd do our matches and stuff like that. We'd start seasons and shit. Dude, I have all sorts of stories like that. But what about the Nintendo stories? Super Nintendo, Genesis. Like, where are those stories at? What was it like at school? Were there people seriously arguing over, dude, the Super Nintendo fucking sucks. Are you serious? Dude, your sports games are trash. Oh my God, bro, you can't even play Streets of Rage, bro. You're over here playing fucking Mario World and Donkey Kong Country. I'm playing fucking Streets of Rage, bitch. You know, are people talking like that? Because, you know, shit was competitive in high school like that for fucking sure. Or maybe you reunited, right? And, hey, I got a Super Nintendo. Bro, can I come over and play your SNES? Can I come over and play your Super Nintendo? You know, like, I've never played one before. What do you got? I got to check this out, dude. Can I come over? Yeah, dude, you got a Genesis? Can I come over to your house tomorrow? Or bring your Genesis, bro. Oh, dude, my dad won't let me bring the fucking Genesis. But, dude, come over the next day. play the Genesis. I have fucking Sonic, dude. I got fucking Streets of Rage. I got Pornhub.com. No, wait, that's a different era. That's a different era. No, but anyway, you get the gist of what I'm saying. Dude, I want to hear some of those stories. I would love the days of YouTube when you could do video responses. But tag me and do a video response. I would love to fucking watch it. I'd love to hear it. That'd be so cool. It'd be so cool to hear a story. And it could be the most boring story. I still want to hear it, dude. I still want to hear it. It's interesting to me. What was it like? Was there ever a time that maybe you and your buddies went to the store and you bought a game? Maybe you got your paycheck and you're like, dude, I'm going to go buy a game this weekend, man. What should we buy? Dude, let's buy Streets of Rage. You want to fucking play this shit? I heard this is pretty good. You know, like, did you guys talk like that? What happened? Like, how is it? What was it like? Because nowadays we do that, so I'm sure you did it back then, right? What games were you talking about? Were you ever disappointed in something? You know, did you buy something like, dude, let's get this Booger Man game. Dude, this game fucking sucks. Now, low-key, Booger Man's pretty good, actually. So let me think. You know, did you buy Color a Dinosaur for your kid or something? I'm kidding. Probably not. But you know what I mean. Was there a game like, dude, Bill and Ted's a dope movie. Let's get the fucking video game. Dude, let's go buy Wayne's World. That movie's hilarious. Let's get the video game. Dude, this game fucking balls, man. This game sucks. Because I also remember that back in the day, you could bring games back. And they fucking let you exchange it, dude. This game sucks. I want something else. That's fucking sick. That's awesome that you can do that. Is it not? Shit, you can't do that nowadays. I'm like, nah. You can get the same game, or that motherfucker better be broken or something. I mean, you might be able to get away with it at Walmart or something if you have your receipt. But you get what I'm saying. There's a lot more red tape nowadays, right? But anyway, dudes, let me hear some stuff. If you want to just type it in the chat, I would really appreciate it. Get yourself a computer. Don't do it on your phone. And fucking take the time to type it. That'd be awesome. Video responses would be great. Would be awesome. I would love to hear it. So I expect to hear some of the older crowd get involved in this. Maybe some of our 45, 46-year-olds in the community. But even if you have stories of maybe your dad played video games with somebody, and maybe his buddy came over or something. I remember my buddy Tyler, his dad and his uncle used to play every single night back with PS1, PS2. They played all the sports games. And interestingly enough, you know what they would do? They would play every game. And they'd play against each other. Every game, dude. So they would start an MLB season, dude. And they would play every game for every team. No joke. And they'd do it every weekend. They'd be up till the sun came up, dude. They'd start out at like 7 o'clock, and we'd be going in and out, hanging out and stuff like that, riding bikes, doing shit. And we'd come in, I'd say, hey, what's up, Terry? What's up, Bill? How you guys doing? And I'd check out the game they were playing and be like, oh, this game looks awesome. You know? And, yeah, I have this game or whatever. Or you got to try the other game, like try NFL Game Day. You know what I mean? Or, yeah, Madden's dope too, you know? But anyway, yeah, I was curious on some stories and stuff like that. Let me know what's up. I'd love to hear the stories. I'll see you later.